What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Radical Red and today's challenge I'm going to do something I haven't done in a little bit. We're going to do a theme team challenge video, and it's surprising I haven't done a theme team challenge on one of my favorite Pokemon anime characters of all time, Gary Oak. Now Gary Oak, introduced very early on as Ash's rival. Ash is the protagonist. I don't know why I explained Ash Ketchum, but very pretentious, very cocky man, and I loved him. Up until he got beaten by Ash in, I think, Johto. That's when his battling days came to an end. But I always liked Gary, and I always liked Gary's Pokemon. His selection of Pokemon very much fit my selection of Pokemon, which are very cool looking, and they're just overall better than Ash's Pokemon. I was always a big fan of Gary, so I'm very excited to do a challenge video just on Gary and using Gary's Pokemon. As you see on screen, these are all the Pokemon available to us for this challenge video, which is going to be on Gary's team. We're going to have to try to beat Pokemon Radical Red using only these Pokemon specifically, and also each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments, so thank you so much for leaving a nickname in the previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon, just let me know in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. So to begin off, Gary is actually known to have a Squirtle as his starter Pokemon, so it's very easy just to get a starter Pokemon. However, we don't get another Pokemon until we actually clear through Viridian Forest and head into Diglett's Cave near Pewter City. Obviously, I'm not going to show every single encounter here, but I'm going to show the early stage one. Firstly, he does have a Golem, and I want to actually manipulate which Geodude I want. I don't want anyone with Rocket. I want a sturdy one, and eventually we do find ourselves a sturdy one. We're gonna capture it, add it to our team real quick. It's gonna be fun. There's also an egg merchant out here, which is nice. We can actually just keep resetting until we get another Pokemon within Gary's arsenal, and surprisingly we actually get a pseudo legendary. We get Larvitar as our Pokemon for this place as well. So we had two rock types, which is gonna be great for the first mini boss, and also pretty much the first gym we're gonna face off against is gonna be Faulkner. Faulkner's a flying type mini boss, and we're gonna start the battle off against him using my Squirtle into my Geodude, which just roll out his entire team, and we're able to just basically roll down Faulkner. Pretty much cleared through the first boss pretty easily. Now we're gonna move on and face off against Brock next. Brock is going to be the rock type gym leader in the game. He's gonna start the battle off against us using a Geodude. I'm gonna start the battle off against him using my Larvitar. Larvitar is not that great here. I'm just gonna sack him as I'm able to break the sturdy of the Geodude, which is nice for us. I go out to my Squirtle. Squirtle is able to water pose, knock out both the Vulpix and the Geodude, which is nice. From there, he's going to switch out into his Onix, which I do get an attack off against him, but he's going to rock to me, hits me down to the low HP, actually eventually knocks me out, but I'm able to go out to my Geodude, and Geodude, surprisingly, Magnitude knocks out the Onix, and then I could survive a hit from the Arcan and knock him out with a rollout. So we're able to knock out Brock pretty easily and get the first gym badge in the game. From there, we're going to move out into the grass over here. We're going to catch both Nidorans, female and male. It's going to be useful for us because he has both Nidoqueen and Nidoking. As well, we're going to continue on into Mount Moon, which, you know, my team is basically dead, but we're able to still make it through this fight against the Team Rocket admin, which is always good for us because we're able to clear through Mount Moon and then head into Cerulean City, where we actually get a bunch of new Pokemon as well. In here, we actually get a Hatterene, which is very nice for us. We also can move out into Route 25. Also get ourselves Electabuzz, which is going to be very useful for the next gym in the game. So we're going to start the battle off against the next gym leader, against Misty, the water type gym leader with our newly found Pokemon. So I start the battle off against her Frogadier using my Nidoqueen. Superpower somehow doesn't knock out the Frogadier, so my Nidoqueen actually goes down, so that was horrible. Okay, from there I'm going to go out to my Wartortle. Wartortle's able to fake out and also Icy Wind into the Starmie to lower its speed, allowing me to actually Icy Wind once again, and then sacking my Wartortle, which, you know, not the best play. I go out to my Nidoking, which works out really well for me because I'm able to Mega Horn and outspeed Starmie, knock him out in one shot, and as well she's going to switch out into her Lantern, which I'm able to Rock Tomb and then Mega Horn as well to knock her out. Well, I lied, didn't knock her out, but knock her down to low HP, which allows me to go out into my Graveler, which has Sucker Punch. Oh, I didn't even go for it. Somehow my Graveler outspeeds the Lantern, Bodos to knock him out, and then her final Pokemon will be a Floatzel. I get a Self-Destruct on it, get him down to low HP, and my Electabuzz, somehow my electric type is one of the last Pokemon I used in this gym fight. Maybe to knock out the Floatzel and get ourselves the second gym badge. Okay. From there, I'm going to go out into the next gym and face off against Lieutenant Surge next. Lieutenant Surge is going to be the electric type gym leader in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against him with no team changes, I don't believe. So we're able to start the battle off against him same way. Nidoqueen to start. I'm able to Power Punch and then Bulldoze into the Pincurchin. Get him down to low HP and then switch out into my Nidoking. Bulldoze again to knock him out, and then his next Pokemon will be a Manectric. I went on to my Growlithe. I take it back. Growlithe is a new addition to my team, which replaces Wartortle for now. I'm able to get Intimidate off and then switch out into my Graveler. Survive a hit. I'm able to Bulldoze him down to low HP. Switch back out into my Nidoking. Now I can outspeed him and Bulldoze him myself, knock him out. And then he goes out to his Bolton, which I sacrificed my Growlithe against him to get Intimidated off, and then utilize my Electabuzz to low sweep into the Bolton to lower its speed. Eventually, I am able to get him down to low HP, switch out into my Wartortle, which doesn't actually get the kill on him because he switches out into his Vigavolt. So I can go out into my Nidoking, Fire Punch twice into him to knock him out, which is nice. And then you might be wondering why I'm saving up the Graveler. It's actually working out pretty well for us. All his Pokemon basically are at low HP. I go out into my Graveler to knock out the Bolton with Sucker Punch. And also his Raichu goes down to low HP with my Sucker Punch. I was kind of expecting to one-shot him, so now I gotta rely on using my Wartortle. Wartortle fakes out the Raichu down to red HP, hoping I could live a Volt Switch. I actually gave up at this point, but surprisingly, I am able to survive a Volt Switch from the Raichu, and Bite would knock out the Raichu as we get our third gym badge in the game. Perfection. From there, we can go out into Rock Tunnel. Now, Rock Tunnel isn't too scary at all because, you know, we've been playing this for like years now. I know the route easily. We can get into Lavender Town and then head into Celadon City, which we're able to get ourselves an Eevee. We want to evolve it into an Umbreon because that's what Gary has. We're also able to evolve most of our Pokemon via the trade evolutions and stones, so we have a lot of great Pokemon. I don't know why I opted into this, but I keep my Blastoise for this next gym out of everything. From there, we're going to head into the next gym and we're going to face off against Erica next. Erica is the grass gym leader in the game. And we're going to start the battle off against her using, obviously, my Arcanine. Arcanine is able to Flare Blitz into the Rillaboom to knock him out in one shot. Her next Pokemon will be a Serperior, which actually gets a Leaf Storm off against me, but it doesn't matter because I'm able to Flare Blitz. Not good enough to the Focus Sash, but I have Extreme Speed to outspeed him. And then our next Pokemon will be an Electrode, which I assume is going to go for an Explosion. It didn't. It's going to knock out my Arcanine, which kind of sucks. But I go out into my Nidoking. It also knocks out my Nidoking and my Blastoise. We eventually knock him out, which maybe not worth it in the long term, but from there I can switch out to my Hatterene, and Hatterene actually stalls the Meganium out pretty easily as I'm able to get a Calm Mind up and then Side Shock, knowing it's going to switch out into the Venusaur and then one-shotting the Venusaur and also knocking out the Meganium eventually. Clear through Erica pretty easily, as you can see. So that works out pretty well as we're able to go out and face off against Giovanni at the basement of the Team Rocket hideout. We got ourselves an Umbreon, and Umbreon does not learn too many great moves. I don't know what to teach Umbreon. Let me know some Umbreon sets because I have no idea what to use on Umbreon besides Toxic, Wish, and Protect. And I use that every single time I have an Umbreon with Sucker Punch. From there, we're going to actually go into Silph. Wow, we're speeding through it actually. Silph is going to not be too difficult for us at all. This double battle fight, we're able to just clear through it pretty easily. We also have a Tyranitar. It has the hidden ability, so it kind of works for us because it doesn't have Sandstream. So we're able to just clear through Archer and Ariana in this double battle fight and then face off against Giovanni. This fight took a little bit though, kind of annoying, but we're able to clear through Giovanni eventually. And it's just the Poltergeist. It's the Poltergeist always switches in and gets some free setup and it just sweeps my team. Super annoying. But from there, we're going to move out and face off against Sabrina next. Sabrina is going to be the Psychic Gym Leader in the game, and she's going to be a double battle fight. So we're going to start the battle off against her using my Nidoking and also my Tyranitar. Two really good Pokemon because I'm able to Poison Jab, one-shot the Hatterene. Did I mention I have Sheer Force on this Nidoking now? I'm also able to get a Dragon Dance with my Tyranitar. I basically resist the Indeedee. As you see, it does like no damage to me. And since I'm a Dark type, it's going to refuse to use Expanding Force. So my Nidoking is actually safe. I'm able to get a Mega Horn, knock out the Indeedee, and then from there, for some reason, she knocks out my Nidoking out of everything. So I'm able to go out to my Electivire, Cross Chop into the Ursaluna, Rock Slide to knock out the Crawdon, and we're able to just clear through everything pretty easily. From there, we also outspeed the Gardevoir, Rock Slide to knock him out, and then Cross Chop again. Super easy battle. Luckily, it's not the hardcore mode version. From there, we also go down Cycling Road, which is actually very easy with this team. Gary's made some really good Pokemon, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I struggle with any real boss fights or any like area so far. I can't really think. Maybe the Giovanni fight in Silph. There will be some challenges up ahead. From there, we're going to face up against Koga next. Koga is the 6th gym leader in the game. From there, we're going to start the battle off against him using my Electivire. He's going to U-turn into his Dragapult. Looking for the Thunder Punch Paralyzed, does not get it, so I switch out into my Umbreon. I get caught in between his Toxicity and his Drapion, which is kind of unfortunate. As you see, I get my HP back up though, so it actually works out for me. But I go out to my Arcanine just to sack it, and it's kind of a recurring theme with Arcanine. Don't really do too much with Arcanine anymore. But Arcanine gets dropped, and then I go out into my Golem. Golem's able to knock out the Drapion. He sends out his Dragapult next, which U-turns, and then I'm able to get a Headlong Rush and knock him out. So I also have an Oran Berry as my go-to item for my Golem. Golem goes down to the Toxicity, but I'm able to go out into my Electivire. I don't have any moves for it, so I go out, I use Fire Punch, catch the Greninja, and then from there I'm able to Mach Punch into him, get him down to low HP. He's gonna knock himself out with a Life Orb, and then again, he Volt Switch on my Electivire, goes out to a Swallow. I burn the Swallow, I think. I don't know if that's the Flame Orb or not, but I'm able to get a Mach Punch and knock out the Swallow, and then finally his Toxicity is able to knock out my Electivire, but damage has been done. I also have my Blastoise out here. I switch in between my Blastoise and Umbreon to get some chip damage against the Toxicity. As you can see, I mean, it actually ends up working out for my Blastoise, because Blastoise actually clutched it up because a Selgor decides to U-turn into a Scald, and I'm able to just knock him out easily. So we're able to beat down Koga, and now we can move out into Cinnabar Island, which with my Tyranitar and Dragonite, we're able to clear through Cinnabar Island's price here and get ourselves a Choice Scarf pretty easily, and then face off against Jasmine in Cinnabar Island and get ourselves a Choice Band. From there, we're going to face up against Blaine next, and Blaine is the 7th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Golem. Golem's able to just go for a Headlong Rush, one-shot the Torkoal very easily. His next Pokemon will be an Executor, which I go out into my Umbreon, and Umbreon still has Bite, but it flinches, so we're going to take that. We also have Sucker Punch to knock him out. Works pretty great for us. From there, he's going to switch out into his Charizard. Knocks me out, unfortunately, but I can go out into my Tyranitar, which works out for me as I'm able to knock him out with a Rock Slide. He Revenge Kills me with Cinderace. Kind of annoying. I go out into my Electivire, which is able to knock him down to low HP, allowing me to go out to my Golem to Sucker Punch, knock him out, and also Sucker Punch into the Typhlosion to break his Blazing Soul Blaze. Yeah, get him down to low HP, works out. Finally, Arcanine can do something as I'm able to Extreme Speed, knock out the Typhlosion, and his final Pokemon will be a Sunflora, which Flare Blitz into a Extreme Speed would knock him out, which works out as we're able to beat down Blaine and move out and face out against Archer and Ariana in Cerulean Cave. Now, this is actually a very difficult fight, as you can see. It actually took me so many attempts. This is probably the hardest fight in the entire run for me, because I just couldn't beat Ariana and Archer at the same time. But luckily, we got very lucky, and the Mawile didn't go for a Sucker Punch, as I'm able to knock out the Mawile and also the Rhyperior of Ariana. And then from there, we're going to face off against Giovanni in this double battle fight, which isn't too difficult at all, as we also have Lance as a partner, so we're going to clear through it pretty easily. No big deal. We have Dragon Dance on our Tyranitar, you know, super powerful move. I don't know why Tyranitar gets Dragon Dance, but Garchomp doesn't get Dragon Dance. They just know it's going to be so powerful on it. But anyways, from there, we're going to face off against Claire next. Claire is the 8th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Arcanine. No reason at all, I guess. I don't know. We're just going to close combat into the Aerodactyl. She's going to switch out into her Naganadel, which I get flustered a little bit. Go out into my Umbreon for no reason, and then start biting into the Naganadel, get him down to low HP, and then switch back out into my Golem to Sucker Punch and knock him out. Her next Pokemon will be a Magearna. I go out to my Arcanine, and Arcanine does one-shot the Magearna. Pretty good for us. As her next Pokemon will be a Dragonite, which I go out into my Blastoise, fake out into Ice Beam, actually one-shots it. So I don't know how this is all working out pretty well for me. I go out to my Arcanine against the Dracovish, and that's just a bad play. From there, I'm able to go out to my Golem next, and hopefully looking at something, you know, Sucker Punch does a little bit of damage. I go out into my Electivire. Plasma Fist, I'm able to live a Fission Wren, and I'm able to go for a Plasma Fist into a Mach Punch to knock him out finally. Get a Mach Punch off against the Duraludon, and then go out to my Blastoise. Blastoise is able to Miracle back Draco Meteor from the Duraludon, and I'm able to knock out Duraludon. And then her final Pokemon will be an Aerodactyl, which knocks out my Blastoise. But I can survive the Aerodactyl as it goes for Taunt against me. I'm able to knock her out, and we get the 8th gym badge in the game. We decided to go back into the Safari Zone and get ourselves a Scyther, evolve it into a Scizor, and then face off against our rival. This is going to be the last member. We're going to replace Arcanine, because Arcanine is not going to be useful at all in the Elite Four. From there, we're going to clear through both our rivals, Gary and also Brendan. Not too hard at all. We're also going to clear through Victor Road, as it's pretty much super easy because Scizor is pretty good as a Pokemon. From there, we're gonna head into the Pokemon League next, and we're gonna start off our Elite Four challenge facing up against Lorelei. Now, surprisingly, Lorelei does not have her water team for once, which ironically would be very good against my current team. But she actually decides to opt for the Ice team as we start the battle off against her using my Tyranitar and Scizor. Now, Scizor is able to Bullet Punch, deny the Aurora Veil, and also I have my Tyranitar to knock out the Glaceon. We take a lot of damage from the Blizzard. From there, her next two Pokemon will be Rotom and also Abomasnow. I go for a Bullet Punch against Abomasnow. They focus more onto my Tyranitar as it goes down, and then allows me to go out to my Electivire, which goes for a Plasma Fist against the Rotom, and also a Bullet Punch to knock out the Abomasnow. Her next Pokemon will be an Azumarill. Works out, I guess, for me, as I'm able to get a Plasma Fist off against her. I don't know why I didn't go for the opposite, like Plasma Fist into the Azumarill, but I went for a Plasma Fist trying to knock out the Rotom. Didn't work as I get knocked out as well, so it's another two Pokemon down. My next two Pokemon will be my Blastoise and Umbreon. I go for a Shell Smash right in front of the Calyrex and Azumarill, and from there I decide to go for a Toxic against the Azumarill. Again, I don't know what to use with Umbreon. From there, actually things work out pretty well as I'm able to outspeed Scald the Calyrex, and with the sturdy Golem, we're able to actually Stone Edge into the Azumarill to knock him out. And then her final Pokemon will be that Rotom, as I'm able to outspeed. Scald will knock her out as she's unable to knock out both my Pokemon in one turn. We're able to beat down Lorelei, and now we move on into the next Elite Four member. Our next Elite Four member we're going to face off against is going to be Bruno. Bruno is going to be the Fighting type Elite Four member, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Electivire. Trying to trick his AI with Leer, obviously, so I'm able to get a free KO on the Infernape. It works out for me pretty well as I'm able to go out to my Scizor next. So I go out to my Scizor next. Scizor is able to get a Swords Dance off against the Como. Actually gets two different Swords Dances, and then go for a Roost against him, and then go for a third Swords Dance, and then he lowers his HP for no reason, allowing me to go for a Bullet Punch to knock him out. His next Pokemon will be a Conkeldurr. I one-shot it. His Urshifu goes down, his Zacian goes down, and then finally his Lucario survives a +6. Knocks me out actually with a Bullet Punch, but I have 4 more Pokemon which I decided to sack slowly, but eventually I am able to knock out the Lucario and beat Bruno. Now next up, we're going to face off against Agatha. Next, Agatha is going to be the Ghost type Elite Four member. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Scizor to Bullet Punch twice into the Zoroark. Works out pretty well. Her next Pokemon will be a Silvally. I wanted to stay in. I decided against it, so I go out into my Electivire. Electivire is able to close combat, knock out the Silvally, and then her next Pokemon will be a Marshadow, which don't really have an idea what to do here. I decided to just stay in it, sack my Electivire, go out to my Blastoise to hopefully Skull Burn it, get the Skull Burn, and then from there I am able to knock out the Marshadow. Her next Pokemon will be an Aegislash, but I'm able to go for a Scald. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I just need my Blastoise to go down to get free switch in into my Scizor to get a bunch of boost up, which I am able to do. I go out into my Scizor, Swords Dance up, and then Bullet Punch to knock out the Aegislash. Her next Pokemon will be a Spectre, which I'm able to two-shot into. Actually, I don't even need a two-shot. A critical hit knocks out the Spectre, and then knock out the Gengar as well with 2 shots, and we're able to beat down Agatha. Moving on, we're going to face off against Lance next. Lance is going to be the Dragon type Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Scizor to two-shot into his Aerodactyl. Free kill. We take those. His next Pokemon is going to be a Dialga. This thing has Flamethrower and Roar time, so I can't Mirror Coat it, or it's gonna roar me out. I also can't really do too much damage. I decided to go for Earthquake, does barely any damage. It goes out to my Scizor again, and eventually I go out to my Electivire, and I get some chances to do some damage. I actually eventually get him down to low HP, and then eventually when it gets down to low HP, I go out to my Electivire. Electivire is able to close combat and knock out the Dialga. From there, he's gonna switch out into his Dragovich, which, I mean, I go out into my Umbreon, get a Toxic off against him. I get a Mach Punch. I do a lot of damage actually, and then I also get a close combat on the Melmetal, which will actually be important later on as my Electivire goes down. I go out to my Scizor, I get a Swords Dance off against the incoming Dragonite, and I'm able to counter it and also Bullet Punch to knock him out, which works out pretty well. I got risky. I go for a Roost against the Dragovich as it knocks me out, but I'm able to knock out the Dragovich in return, as my final Pokemon will be a Golem, as he has 2 Pokemons left, his Salamence and also his Melmetal. I'm able to go for a Stone Edge against the Salamence, and it actually works out as I'm able to crit it and one-shot it, and his final Pokemon will be a Melmetal, which somehow, miraculously, I'm able to actually outspeed a Melmetal and knock him out, and we're able to beat down Lance. From there, we can move on into the champion room. We're going to face off against the champion. We're going to face off against Blue or Gary. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Scizor, as he starts with a Pheromosa. I decided to go for a Bullet Punch, and it works out pretty well. Get a free kill on Pheromosa. Well, freeze, roughly, because I took a close combat with my Scizor. From there, he's going to switch out into his Eternatus, which can't do too much. I got to sacrifice my Scizor Go out into my Golem next. Golem gets Headlong Rush, one-shots the Eternatus from this HP. From there, he's going to switch out to his Ditto for some reason, and then I'm just going to sack my Golem, which is fine. Go out to my Electivire. He actually has a pattern. He goes into his Groudon next. I'm able to get 2 close combats off against him and a critical, which is huge. From there, I go out to my Blastoise, which he decides to switch out to his Mega Metagross. I'm able to Shell Smash and get a Skull Burn on the first turn, evading the Zen Headbutt basically, and then he switches out into his Yveltal as I'm able to get a Shell Smash once again. And then for a third time, because I know he's going to try to Sucker Punch me on one turn, and then Ice Beam does not kill him at +6. How tanky is Yveltal? Anyways, from there I go out into my Tyranitar next. Tyranitar is able to Dragon Dance, actually knock out the Yveltal for me. I'm able to outspeed everything else except the Metagross, but I'm able to live it, and then Earthquake to knock him out. Earthquake to also knock out the Groudon, and then he sends out his Ditto, which I was kind of scared of. He's going to Ditto and copy all my stat boosts, and I'm just hoping my Umbreon's just strong enough to survive the Earthquake, and it just is. I also have the leftovers, which actually helps me a lot, as I'm able to survive the Earthquake pretty easily. Wish Up, Protect, get my HP back, and eventually Toxic Stall to Ditto down. A bit lame, Anticlimactic to end the challenge, but we eventually did beat down Gary, beat down Blue, as we're able to beat down the entirety of Pokemon Radical Red using only Gary's team. I'm glad I kept Blastoise this entire time, but his team, it's not his rotational team, but is really good. He also has an Ultra Beast I didn't even consider talking about. No, I was never gonna get the Ultra Beast. Anyways, that was pretty fun to do. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. It's a little fun video of Radical Red. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and let me know if you guys want to see more of these Theme Team Challenge. Anyways, my name's Ben Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.